It was supposed to be one of those harmless Saturdays, the kind that leaves no scars. Soft jazz drifted lazily through the house, brushing against warm amber light and polished hardwood floors. The scent of roasted garlic and rosemary hung in the air, wrapping around the laughter that spilled from the living room. Wine glasses clinked. Old college stories resurfaced. The kind of easy nostalgia that makes everyone feel younger, looser, untouched by consequence. It was supposed to be one of those harmless Saturdays, the kind that leaves no scars. Soft jazz drifted lazily through the house, brushing against warm amber light and polished hardwood floors. The scent of roasted garlic and rosemary hung in the air, wrapping around the laughter that spilled from the living room. Wine glasses clinked. Old college stories resurfaced. The kind of easy nostalgia that makes everyone feel younger, looser, untouched by consequence. I stood in the kitchen, refilling the ice bucket like the attentive, capable husband I had trained myself to be. Madison's college friends filled our home. Women I'd known for 6 years. Women whose birthdays I remembered. Women I'd picked up from airports at midnight. Women I'd helped move couches up narrow staircases while their boyfriends conveniently had work. They smiled at me whenever I walked into a room, asked about my job, thanked me for hosting. I believed those smiles. I believed we were all safe with each other. Then I heard my name. It drifted down the hallway in Madison's voice, sharper than usual, louder, theatrical. Something in her tone made me pause. Not concern. Performance. I stilled, the metal scoop suspended over the ice bin. I hadn't meant to eavesdrop, but instinct pulled me closer. I stepped lightly toward the living room entrance and stopped just outside the doorway, unseen. And I listened. Honestly, girls, I don't even know what to do anymore, Madison said. There was a dramatic sigh. He tries so hard, but it's like being with a teenager who watched all the wrong movies. The room exploded. Laughter, loud, reckless, unrestrained. It hit me physically, a vibration in my chest. I stayed frozen. And it's not even subtle, she continued, swirling her wine as if she were mid-stand-up routine. He thinks he's some kind of expert. More laughter. Brooke's voice cut through the noise. It's that bad. Madison didn't hesitate. Worse. The word landed like a stone in still water. Honestly, I've laid there planning my grocery list. The laughter swelled again, bigger this time, confident now that the target wasn't in the room. Except I was. Every word was a blade. Casual, careless, sharpened for entertainment. These were women who hugged me hello. Women who thanked me for grilling in the summer. Women who told me Madison was lucky. And now my private life, my marriage was a punchline, all while she was curating jokes about me for an audience. I stood slowly and faced the mirror. For a long moment, I didn't recognize the man staring back. Then something shifted. Clarity. She didn't respect me. And respect, once gone, poisons everything it touches. I went back downstairs smiling. I poured wine. I asked about vacations and work promotions. I laughed at stories I'd heard before. Not a flicker of what I knew showed on my face. Madison didn't notice the change, but Brooke did. Her eyes lingered on me longer than usual. Curious, unsettled. The night ended without fireworks, but something fundamental had broken, and something else had formed in its place. By Monday morning, I had become an observer in my own home. Every tone shift, every sigh, every offhand comment, they all meant more now. I was brushing my teeth when I heard her on the phone in the bedroom. He reorganized the garage this weekend, she said, voice syrupy with condescension. Took him all day to do what should have taken 2 hours. I just smiled and said, "Great job, honey. What else can you fix?" Laughter crackled from the speaker. I rinsed my mouth calmly. While I walked past her, she flashed that warm, affectionate smile. "Have a good day at work, babe." I kissed her cheek like always. Said nothing. Silence, I discovered, can feel powerful. That entire week became her performance. She came alive for her friends, animated, bright, electric, then dimmed when she turned to me, like lowering herself to speak to a child. Tuesday night, her phone buzzed during a show we weren't really watching. She smirked at the screen. "What's funny?" I asked lightly. "Oh, the girls are planning another get-together. Nothing important." But her expression said otherwise. Wednesday, I suggested a new restaurant downtown. She agreed, but when she made the reservation, her tone shifted into something patronizing. Yes, 2 people. My husband really wanted to try it. At dinner, she was pleasant. But when the waiter approached, she transformed, charming, vibrant, engaged. He laughed at her jokes. She held eye contact a little too long. Then she turned back to me and softened artificially. When he said, "You two seem happy. Your wife's very outgoing," something clicked in my chest. Recognition. Someone else saw the divide. When I told Madison he called her outgoing, she blushed. I was just being friendly. You know how I am. I realized then. I didn't. I led her into the living room, the stage of my humiliation, and offered coffee. She fidgeted with the mug. "You two always seemed really happy." "Seemed," I echoed. She sighed. "About the other night, things were said that shouldn't have been." "Define shouldn't," I replied evenly. That caught her off guard. "You deserve better than the way she talks about you sometimes." I stayed silent. "She makes you sound like a burden," Brooke continued softly, "like you're holding her back. But that's not what I see." "And what do you see?" "A man who tries. A man who cares. Someone who isn't being appreciated." The air changed. "Why tell me this?" I asked. Her voice dropped. "Because I know what it's like to lose someone good. I didn't value him until it was too late." She held my gaze. "You have more options than you think." The implication hung between us. Heavy. Intentional. I hadn't expected that. But it landed exactly where she meant it to. Over the next week, her text began. An article about a restaurant. A song that reminded her of our conversation. A book recommendation. Harmless on the surface, but deliberate. Madison noticed. When Brooke hugged me goodbye, longer than necessary, Madison watched every second. The moment the door closed, dishes clattered violently in the kitchen. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Fine. You sure?" She turned, eyes blazing. "Are you having an affair?" I held her gaze. "Why would you think that?" "Because something has changed. You're different, confident, secretive, and now you and Brooke are suddenly close." I stepped forward deliberately. "You want to know what changed?" "Yes." I started listening. Her face drained. "I heard everything that night," I continued. "Every joke, every insult, every time you called me awkward, embarrassing, inexperienced. I didn't mean. You meant every word. You were enjoying yourself." Tears spilled instantly. I was frustrated. People vent. Venting isn't humiliation. She sobbed harder. "We can fix this. Counseling. We can talk. You had 6 years to respect me," I said calmly. "You chose mockery." Her phone buzzed. She glanced down. "Brooke." She looked back at me in horror. "Are you with her? Does it matter?" I asked quietly. "You already decided I wasn't worth much. Please don't leave me. Some mistakes carry weight." I stepped back. I'm done accepting less than I deserve. I turned toward the stairs. Behind me, her quiet crying filled the room. At the top, I paused, long enough for silence to speak. And in that silence, she understood, for the first time, exactly what she had lost.